Today might be a better day than it was yesterday, and tomorrow might be the absolute worst day than it is today. But either way it goes, you are still here to take on the day. Somebody woke up today and they was not in the best mood, or maybe they was in a great mood, and the smallest thing took their joy away. Somebody today had to tell somebody goodbye. And while many of us take those small things for granted, there are some people who need every small thing to matter because it's how they're holding on. Somebody that's listening right now who truly needs some help, who truly needs someone to listen to them and go through the battle with them. And if that person is you, please, please hear my voice and take this message. Simply dial 3 numbers. The number used to be so much longer, and they found ways to make it more convenient and simple by making it 3 digits. 988 will get you in contact with someone who can help you immediately. That's it, 988. There's somebody out there willing to help you to go through every step of the way of this battle. Whatever you're dealing with, you are not the first, you will not be the last. This is not something you have to do alone. If you need somebody to support you, somebody that can step up there with you, reach out to me. I simply need a message. We need to talk. I don't care how you do it. You can simply talk about sports and put in there at some point, we need to talk. And I will find a way to get in contact with you and go through the process with you. So before you make a decision that your family, your friends, those who care about you have to live with, make a decision you can live with and get help by simply dialing 3 numbers, 988. Now let's talk football. What's going on, Pride Nation, and welcome back to another Field Review podcast show where we talk all things Detroit Lions. And obviously we're going to be talking a little bit of that preseason week 1 this entire week. So is every other Lions YouTuber out there. So stay tuned for that. And we're also going to talk about the training camp. There's the whole family fest, or Lions fest they call it, that happened on Saturday. There's a lot of things that came out of that. And then there's other news that came out. But I'm going to tell you right now that I'm going to start this show off a little bit different, because I anticipate me going through and simply dispelling some of the things that's already out there. But before we get into all that, let's see who's in the building with us. First, we got my man BD Buster in the building. Forbidden Knowledge, who says perfect timing. Defend the den. We got my man Lions Rumble 81 in the building. We got my man Dan Spanos in the building. Chrome is in the building. My man Anthony's in the building. Sweatbread. We got my man That Dude Live. Make sure I don't forget nobody. We got Dr. Detroit that's in the building. Let me see who else we got out here in the building. We got my man Frank out here in the building. Make sure I ain't forgetting nobody. Dr. Pepperoni, Mr. Marcus 42, Gino. We got Buffed Up out here in the building. One Funky Lion fan. Old Timer Dave, shout out to you, sir. He says always someone to talk to. What up, though, Luke? What's going on, Old Timer Dave? We got my man Super Saiyan Lion. If you win here, put your name in the chat so I can shout you out. Kyle Webb is in the building. Makai Hope is in the building. Welcome to the show, good people. I plan to have a lot of fun today because I'm going to make this a short, long show, if that makes sense. I know it sounds strange for it to be a short, long show, but I got to get a lot covered in a short period of time. And then I also give you your time to come in and rock with me. The goal is to get this thing popping. First things first, before I get into any training camp news and this, it's the messages for me. I do love when you all send me messages and you're like, hey, what about this? What are your thoughts on this? And things like I love that. But I gotta be honest, that this last one hit some nerves with me because I'm trying to understand why you will want this. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about the Kareem Hunt talk. Why? Why do y'all want this guy? Why do every time a player says I want to be traded or he hits free agency, you as a fan base want that guy? Why? What is it that is happening that makes you say to yourself, this is the guy that we have to get. This is the guy that we want. This is the guy that we need. Why is it that guy? You know what I mean? Like, I don't get it. I have no understanding of why you want Kareem Hunt. Are you tired of Jamal Williams all of a sudden? Is DeAndre Swift exhausting to you? Like, are you over Craig Reynolds? We're going to be running back by committee. I don't know if y'all know this, which is one of the reasons why I've been snapping so hard about the split carries between Jamal Williams and DeAndre Swift. But for some odd, strange reason, so many people want Kareem Hunt. There's even an article that broke it down in terms of pros and cons. And I'm thinking to myself, there is no pro to this. There's absolutely no pro to this. There's no need for no cons because he should not be here. And he should not be up for discussions. We are asking for players in positions that we completely have filled. Why? What would be the reason? The position is filled. Where's the energy at for the linebackers? More safeties, more cornerbacks. Where's that energy? Ask yourself, who's up for the trade block in those positions? What free agents are still available to fix that problem? We're concerned about every single other player that comes available other than the ones that we need. Why? It doesn't make sense to me. And I got a number of messages that talked about Kareem Hunt. There was even a whole debate in my Discord over second chances because of something he did. And it's ridiculous. What up, though, David Crow? He said, we need to bubble wrap DJ Chark. Uh-oh. Like, I don't get it. Shout out to my man, Dan. Yes, we always praying for everybody. And Dan, you need a little bit of prayer, and we're going to put it out there for him, 100%. But the thing that I don't understand is this. I've sat down, I've went through, and I've literally go through, and I do this every now and then. I do a survey where I check literally the messages that I get, the different things that come up, and what fans say. And I'm telling you, there hasn't been a person to hit the free agent market or a person to hit the trade block talk that the Lion fan base don't go, we should get this guy. Not a singular person. You do it every single time. Call me when it's a linebacker. Call me when it's a linebacker. There is even a report. There was even this report out where it was talking about who was it? They said the Lions had interest in a particular person, and I said this is stupid. And the source, Jacobs, that's his name, Jacobs, from the Raiders. There's this whole thing about the Lions have interest in running back Josh Jacobs because they played him and gave him snaps. It's 3 preseason games, which is going to lead me into the next thing in a few, but it's 3 preseason games. And so they took him taking those snaps to mean that they want to showcase him to be traded. And I had Lions fans sending me messages about, man, we should take a flyer on Josh Jacobs. And it was from an uncredible source that source had no credibility whatsoever, but fans were still like, yeah, let's entertain the idea. For what? You have a running back committee. You have running backs that are more than capable. Now you want to trade for Jacobs and Kareem Hunt. I just need y'all to help it make sense. I just need y'all to help me make it make sense. If you in the building, hit that like button. I ain't trying to preach to you. I'm just trying to make it make sense. Why are we doing this? Where's the talk set for, like, can we find some linebackers? Who's on the trade block there? Can we find some more cornerbacks? When you have an open competition between Will Harris and Okudah, doesn't sound like the best situation. And yet we somehow have this need to get another running back. To do what? Split carries again? You think you're going to bring Kareem Hunt here, trade an asset, and you're going to split carries even down the line like that with him? Who's your 1 and 2? Who are you giving up to get him? Like, seriously, whose spot is he taking? Because now you're going to get into some territory where you're going to probably lose some people you like. You can't get rid of Jamal Williams. He just gave, 3, 4, 5 passionate speeches. You want him gone? We have to stop this. All right? We got our guy. Now, to bring it to another point, they just announced that Jared Goff is going to play on Friday. And my thing is I want to see how long it takes for somebody to say, oh, he's playing because they're trying to showcase him, and they're trying to showcase him because they want to trade. I wonder how long it's going to take. Today is Monday, August 8th. Let's see how long it takes after August 12th on Friday game against the Falcons before people started saying where he took 8 snaps. They clearly are trying to trade him. I want to see how many times that come up because I can assure you that it's coming. I can 100% guarantee you that it's coming. Breaking news, Carson Wentz retires, has tied to the Lions in 2 years. That's what's going on. It makes no sense. And to me, you got 3 preseason games. And if you're going to do something to get people in rhythm, let them take a few snaps in the first game. I have no problem with it. In fact, I'm encouraging it. I'm hoping that I see it. I'm expecting to see them do something in terms of letting us get these guys some type of competition other than themselves. And in the second game of preseason, full dress rehearsal. Third, rest the starters and let those guys who's on the bubble work their way into it. But when you got 3 preseason games, all spots of it must be explored. Doesn't make sense. All right. Now, that also brings me to my point. How should fans be looking? How should they be watching and looking at this preseason game coming up? Not serious. Enjoy the game. See who jumps off the screen. Don't take it so serious. This is the time for you to just not give 2 flying nickels. This is the time. And all you have to do, in all honesty, is simply just say to yourself, let me see who jumps off the screen. Without me having no expectations or me looking for it, who jumps off the screen? That's the only thing I want to know. Because if the answer is nobody, then guess what? We got a problem. We got a problem. Because I want to see somebody jump off the screen. Now, if the answer is, well, Luke, it has a lot of indications, and man, they know who the hell they starting 11 is on offense and defense. Stop playing with me. You know it. I know it. We all know it. This is nothing new. Can somebody move up or move down? Very possible. But is that going to change in one preseason game? No, it's not. It's a scrimmage. It's a game that does not count. It is used to get you back warmed up into it. Right? That's what it is. Now, let me get back to the past training camp that happened on Saturday. I couldn't go to it. I had to go to a wedding. Shout out to the people that got married. Congratulations again. Right? I couldn't go to it. But let me just get you to the point. All right. In that practice, I've seen a number of things that people I personally think blew out of proportion. Like they took it and they ran with it. There were some plays that were made that you went, oh, that's exciting. But for some reason, there was a lot of talk when it came to our secondary. A lot of talk. Oh, man, our secondary sucks, and they getting this and that. And I've got to be honest with you. This is, you know me, I keep it as real as it comes. What are y'all looking at? Because the reality is every time I saw a receiver make a catch, it wasn't easy. The players were in position. They were there with them. And it was just a good pass and catch. If anything, the talk should have been Jared Goff and how accurate he's been with his receivers. That's what it should have been. Those guys, and I hate to say it, those defensive backs are playing better. They're competing. They're in position. Them passes are not normal. They're not out there just getting these little easy catches and routes no more. No. They're performing. The catch that you saw, I believe it was against Will Harris. Will Harris was running with Chark. And where the ball was placed, I promise you, there was nothing Will Harris could have did to get that ball. Now, we're not going to promote that because we don't want to promote the Jared Goff talk, because once you promote the Jared Goff talk, it scares you at the fact that you may end up being stuck with him for a little bit longer. But the reality is, at least from what I've seen from practice, the guy's been pretty accurate. He's been putting it there. And the secondary has had its opportunities to make plays and did in the practice. I heard about how people like Austin Bryant was getting off, and Charles Harris was getting off, and I heard about all these different things. You know, I heard about all these different things that to me, I'm like, why are we not talking about that? Why are we not talking about, like, even when in the play where Okudah, the very first one that they showed, my issue with Okudah was, look, you got 5 yards, you can be like physically abusive to the guy, beat up on him, right? And I can tell you right now that, you know, all the others I saw, all the highlights and stuff that I seen from that practice, those cornerbacks they wasn't having it. There was a pride in them to not get beat, to compete, to push the next person. I'm convinced that if Aiden Hutchinson don't turn into the next great pass rusher, I can tell you right now, it's just him. Because if you can't get better going against Penei Sewell, I don't know what to tell you. Sewell is not making his life easy. Every counter move that man used, Sewell eats it up. And it doesn't stop there. It's the other side of the ball, where Dacker is not in, and I'm still trying to figure out, like, golly, they're not playing. Names that people are not talking about. They're not talking about how Derek Burns looked like he is in rare form, but we want to talk about Malcolm Rodriguez. And yes, he took some snaps with the first team. That's great. But this is nothing new. This happened last year. Sewell was taking snaps with the second and third string when he first came in. And then when we got closer to the season, we started seeing where they landed. The reality is the idea of iron sharpening iron is a real thing. And I think that we as a fan base have to start giving the praise where we put the bad. And I'm quick to tell you the bad, and I'm quick to tell you the praise. But I also have to be realistic and tell you that we can't be saying that, oh, the secondary suck, when I'm telling you they're in position. The interception that Elliott got, even though it came from, I believe it was David Blau, so what? He was in position. It wasn't like he wasn't in position. And as much as we like to praise, you know, the team blindly, sometimes you just got to understand that competition looks real when you go out there and you watch them. You see it, and it stands out, and it's beautiful to see, and it's exciting. But I also have to give credit to the quarterback who's throwing the ball, the receivers who's running the routes and catching it. And I'm bringing up more questions, but I'm like, well, damn, did we really need a Jameson Williams? And somebody's going to come in here and say, well, he's going to make it so much better when he gets back. But is he? Because what I'm seeing right now, it looks like we might be running on all cylinders with Josh Reynolds, Amon-Ra, and Chalk. And if that's the case, and you still got the tight end, just putting it out there. Shout out to my man Raw Detroit, aka TA. They're not going to trade for Hunt, but he is a workhorse with great catching ability out of the backfield. Hunt is a number 1 running back, but Lions have Swift, Williams plus Reynolds. It would be tough. It doesn't make sense. You can't keep everybody, and running back is not a position we should be looking at. That's just the reality. And as much as I would love for that to be the case, we can't do it. Now, the Detroit says, yes, we did need Jameson Williams. Okay. I ask this question every time somebody say that. You know, every time somebody asks that question, I ask them, is he going to be better than Calvin Johnson? I heard Luke has a crush on Jonah Jackson's boyfriend material. Huh? Adam, what the hell are you talking about, bro? What are you talking about, bro? You know, I mean, just saying, people, we gotta be fair. We got to be fair. And to be fair, I can see a great deal of competition on all levels, minus linebacker. Minus linebacker. Adam, I gotta get you on anyway, bro, because you had a post, man. I was like, man, what is going on here? You had a post where I think you broke down the NFC North, and I was like, what in the world is going on here? Adam says, Luke, honest question. All right, what's the honest question, sir? I'm just saying, I mean, that is a good question. The reality is if let's see, would you rather win the division or win a playoff game as a wild card team? I would rather win a playoff game. The division is cool. Don't get me wrong. I want the division. The division is the ultimate goal. But, it's depressing when you see teams like the Dallas Cowboys and the Green Bay Packers who win the division, get the number one seed, and get a quick, swift exit. No one cares that they won the division. No one cares that they did that. You want the games. You want the wins. And to me, if I'm picking, I'm taking the playoff win. I'm sick of this. I think the second longest streak might be the Dallas Cowboys. What is it, 26 years? And, with 3 playoff wins or something like that. I forgot how it works. But no, I want the playoff win. I want to see this team win a playoff game. I want to see them do it. Like, winning the division is great, but if you win the division and you lose the playoff game, who the fuck cares? No one. No one gets excited. No one gets so jumpy about it. You have to start to show strides. And in order for you to be in the dance, you got to play the game. There's a lot of people who want that $1.6 billion money ball that came out in the Mega Millions. But only those who played are the ones who get to be upset. I didn't play. I'm not upset. But winning the division, that's cool. But it don't matter when you ain't winning nothing afterwards. Lions are 0-8 in their wild card game since 1992. Haven't won a playoff game since they won the division in 1991. That's cool. I get it. But wild card teams can get a home game. It's not saying that they couldn't. And I know that division winners can possibly have a home game. Don't get me wrong. But to me, you should be prepared whether you at home or on the road. That's my view, Adam. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it has been a long ass time. And they did that in 91 with a quarterback who was less than stellar because they ran the ball first. And I'm talking about my man Kramer. So, you have to look at the history, and that's why I say that. I want the playoff win 100%. But that's a damn good question, though. I think a lot of people would look at it like that, and see it. Wild card teams have won 6 of 57 Super Bowl home games. Would be nice in Detroit. It would, but it'd be even more nice to not expect them to lose, right? To not expect them to be disrespected by the officials because they have not been winning games. If you go out and you win a playoff game, it changes your fortunes. It changes everything. Now, they already got the guy in charge who's making the smart decisions, who is flat out saying, like, look, I need to motivate these people to a different level. He succeeded in that regard, but you start winning playoff games? Oh, sweet. Jesus. Now we get to find out what our GM really made of. Right now, if you look at all our GMs and their best picks, we were picking high as hell. Like, you just couldn't go wrong. Well, obviously, if you count Okuda. If you count Okuda, that's another story. Just putting it out there. But that's a good question, though. I like that. It says, yo, what up, Luke and chat? What's going on, man? Adam, you feel free to hop in here. Matter of fact, I might do this a little different than usual. I might throw the link out there now. That's what I might do. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. I'll throw the link out there now, and then that way it's already out there in the building, right? And then y'all can jump in. But yeah, I think overall, as we come up on this game on Friday, fans don't need to put that much stock in it. They need to just 100% be like, okay, you know what? I'm watching this game for enjoyment. I want to see who jumps off the screen and makes me go, oh, wow, who is that guy? Like, seriously, who's that guy? If I don't get that guy, where I'm questioning, like, yo, why is this dude not on our team? When he gonna get more plays? Then I'm probably disappointed, because at that point it's a waste of energy. I want more. But I think when you look at this team as a whole, and this another thing, people, as we get ready to come up on tomorrow, the premiere of the Hard Knocks, again, I still did not want it. I was a little taken back when I heard that the Lions asked to be on it. I went, okay. You really asked to be on it. Interesting. But I wanted no parts of Hard Knocks, and that's just me being honest. Is it cool? Adam need prayer, man. I'm naked. You don't want me to join, but you could cut a camera off. Stop it. Stop it. But then again, now that you said something, I definitely don't want you. Now that you don't said that. But again, the reality is this: as Hard Knocks gets ready to debut, this is something that's going to give you a chance to look at it, and they're already letting you know what the storylines are going to be. I.e., talking about Dan Campbell and my man Jamal Williams. But I suspect that they're going to do the best to put certain players in the most positive light. My first guest in the building, and he's always showing love and everything. My man Anthony is in the building. What's going on, sir?
Hey, Luke. How's things?
It's going, bro. It's going like 100% going, man. Every day I'm thankful that I get to get up and do this again. And as the season gets closer, I'm getting more and more excited. But I'm trying to temper some of these expectations that people didn't want to have high in the beginning, but now they want to raise them up on things that don't matter, aka preseason games. I do not understand this.
I don't know. I kind of think they're really important for us this year. I mean, I was discussing them on our pod obviously earlier, and there are a lot of spots on this team where we don't have starters at the minute. And I think this is going to be a very important audition for a lot of players. If they want to put their foot forward and say, I want to play against the Eagles come the start of the season, I think there's some guys who've got to go out there and, show in a game situation that they can stand up and do it. I don't think this is the, we're saying we're going to put the starters out for one quarter. Well, name me half the starters on our defense. Have we got 2 starting caliber linebackers? No. Have we got 3 starting caliber safeties right now? No. I want them to show passion, want to go out there, play, and earn that spot. Like Dan Campbell says, you want to be the best, you've got to fight a little harder, train a little harder, be a little better, think a little more. You're not going to do that by just treating preseason like, just it's a runaround on a pitch. They've got to take this seriously.
Yeah, they had to take it beyond serious, and I see I got more people jumping in. Again, the link in the chat, people, is for you. You can be a part of the show. You simply jump in. You have to have a device that allows you to have good internet, a mic of a source, rather it be your earbuds or something that you can talk on, and you simply come on, talk your stuff, and then I get you up out of here. It's simple, man. Make it easy on yourself and get it done. You can come and be a part of the show. I don't shy away from people. Now, if you come in here acting fool, don't be a part of the clown show, because I'm all for playing with clowns. Trust me, I will make you feel really bad. I'm going to talk about you at that point because I don't have the energy for clowns. So just come here, have fun, let's talk our team, and keep it 100. I see you in the back, man, Rumble. I got you, I'm coming. So yeah, I'm 100% want it. So, but I got to pay some bills. I have to pay some bills, because I'm not doing this by myself. I have joined up and showed some love, and with some beautiful people who have decided to add me into the fold of life. And then I'm gonna definitely get back to this question. But I'm talking about Man Hour. That's right, good people. Man Hour it is a awesome show where they talk all the sports. They talk all the football teams. They literally have somebody for every team out there that we can talk to. I have a few people I plan on doing some shows with as we get ready for those games, where we're going to be streaming on our platform simultaneously. So you're in for a lot of cool things. So this is brought to you by Man Hour. Shout out to my people Buck and all the fellas over there who get it done over with Man Hour. Like I said, I gotta pay these bills, people. All right, let me bring in my man Rumble.
What up, though? What up, though, boys?
What's going on, man? You all right, sir?
Yes, sir, I am. Absolutely, man.
Now, before I get going, I want to answer this question. I think it's a good question. He asked it to me. He said, if we achieve either a playoff win or division, what position or coach, in your opinion, would be the reason? To me, the sole reason would come down to Aaron Glenn. If you can get this defense to if you can squeeze every ounce of energy out of them and they perform, it will start there. And Ben, if he understands that running the ball first is serious and important, and I think that will be the case. What say you, Rumble?
Man, so yeah, I always agree with you, because you be in my head, man. Yeah, absolutely. Defense wins championships, man. If you can prevent the other team from scoring, then your chances of winning are that much more greater. So yeah, defense. And like you said, the way he's been able to convert some of these guys and get them to actually play their position or play out of position has been nothing short of extraordinary to me, in my opinion.
100%. What about you, Anthony? What do you think? If they get either a win a division or, see, in my opinion, if you win a division, you have to win a playoff game. But that's another story. But if I had to choose between a division and a playoff win, I'm taking a playoff win. But what are your thoughts on this? If that happens, what position or coach, in your opinion, would be the reason?
For me, I'd go a little bit more specific than defense. I'd say it would have to be Todd Wash on his defensive line. We have not had a good defensive line in Detroit for years and years and years, and it's where we've really invested in this defense. If this defense wants to be good this year, then those edge rushers and that interior defensive line has to come to play. It has to stop teams running on us, and it has to start hunting down some quarterbacks and sacking the hell out of them. He's got a lot of draft picks and a lot of money to work with on that line. And, if we want the defense to be good this year, he has to coach the hell out of them and give us something to work with. So I think he's really under the spotlight because, Detroit's not had a good defensive line in a very long time.
Yeah, I'll never forget this, right? I remember when the Lions selected Levi Onwuzurike. I wasn't down nor high on him. I just had the UCLA guy whose name I cannot pronounce, because it's even worse than Levi Onwuzurike. I had him rated higher, and I thought he would be a better prospect at the position than Levi. And I did go and watch, some more tape at live for a second, and I went, I get why they brought him in, the hustle, the chase, and all that. But he ain't been healthy, and if you ain't available, it's a waste of energy. It's almost like if you went to, say, I don't know, Popeyes, and you wanted a Popeyes chicken sandwich, but they don't have any chicken. What the hell are you called the Popeye chicken for? You know what I mean? So it's like that for me. And to me, I got to be honest, I've been waiting to hear something about Levi, at least in terms of his progression to get into the field, that we haven't had a chance to see. And that's starting to really bother me because he's a guy that I was like, look, I'm not mad at we have. I just think we have somebody that was higher, and I would have preferred we took a different player, but I don't get caught up too much in us taking different players as much as I do is saying, hey, you took who you took. They better be better than the options that went after that. Elizabeth Yarderman, I hope I said that right, says Hard Knocks will get national exposure. National media ignores the Lions. They do. They ignore a lot of people, but we could have got that exposure a different way. I was not happy when I heard that she said that the Lions asked to be on Hard Knocks. I'm like, for what? For what? I don't care. I don't. It's scripted. I don't care. Who's getting cut was always going to get cut. I remember that one year they act like it was a huge thing because Chad Johnson got released. It's like, okay. But they create storylines before they ever happen. So, no, I'm good. I'm good on it. Let's see. Late to the party with Pascal, Levi, and Penny retired. We cure our D-line before week 1? Yeah, I think we can. And I know another person retired today, and this is another issue I want to jump on. So what? Players retire all the time. So what? And I know there's an article that came out not too long ago saying that they were going to reevaluate their undrafted free agent process. There's nothing to reevaluate. People are entitled to quit jobs the same way they're entitled to cut players. This is nothing new. We're not going to act like this is some shocking moment that's changed history because, this shouldn't have happened here. So what? The D-line would be okay by then. Everybody at some point in time got to cut their team down to the 53, right? And so you'll have options at the D-line. Don't panic. But these are guys who are coming in as undrafted free agents who are trying to earn a spot on the team, who are trying to earn their key. And if they retire, cool. When Penei Sewell retired, it made sense to why they took Pascal. Now, if they took Pascal without knowing that he was going to retire, well, shit, good. Talk about the luck of the draw. But the reality is I think they knew, and that's why they took him. I'm more concerned with the fact that we keep taking so many players who are hurt. Are the hurt players going to be minus? I'm going to say this again because I know people want hard of hearing. Minus Jameson Williams. Are the other hurt players going to be available by week 1? If the answer is no, we got a problem. That's the bigger issue for me. What are y'all thoughts on this? I mean, the idea that we keep on having people retire and the Lions want to reevaluate their undrafted free agents. What are the things about it? Start with you, Anthony.
I don't know. I think it's just a case of, like you said, a lot of these guys, most of the ones who are retiring are undrafted free agents. A lot make it to the NFL, or they make it onto a training squad, a practice roster, whatever. And they just realize, especially when it comes to Dan Campbell, the intensity that you have to perform at, you are pushed harder and harder and harder every day. And it just does not come to everybody. Sometimes you're just like, right, hang on, I'm not going to get a roster spot here. This is not my thing. I'm going to go back to school. I'm going to do something else. I'm going to do whatever. But, it's been happening all around the league. There's been undrafted free agents retiring on a lot of teams. Like I say, sometimes guys just make a jump before they're pushed because the first lot of cuts come up on Tuesday and, it's not long to go. So they probably know that they're already done already. And they're just making future plans. And I'm not worried about it. If it were first teamers retiring, then we'd have an issue. But like I said, these are guys trying to make the team. And I think it's just a case of, Dan Campbell's pushing this ship really hard. And some people are just not making it.
What are your thoughts on this, line from? I mean, because a lot of people, they want to know about why does this keep happening? I don't think it's shocking. Shout out to my man right here, my man Buck in the building. He says, "What up, fam? What's going on, sir? In case you was wondering where all this love is coming from, let me go ahead and pay some more bills." Let me just segue into that's real smooth. Shout out to my man Buck. Man Hour, people, if you didn't know, we are on everything. They are on everything. We everywhere, right? You can get all your 32 teams. You can catch it all. You want to hear about some baseball, some other strange things? Trust me, you'll get it here. It's going to be raw. It's going to be entertaining. It's going to be exciting. And you're going to have a lot of games that's going to come up where you're going to have people talking to other people from other teams. This right here is being streamed on Facebook. It's being streamed on 2 different YouTube channels, including my own. Like it's covered from end to end for you to get your fix. And if you have an itch, trust me, Man Hour is where you want to get it scratched. Boy, I did that damn good. I'm proud of myself. Go ahead, my man. Rumble, talk to the people.
Boy, you got me hyped for Man Hour.
Hey,
but yeah, I think it's just a demanding, like you guys said, this is demanding. And what Dan Campbell and them are doing right now, they're demanding greatness. They're not going to settle for, the same old lines. That page is done and over with. If you can't produce, if you won't allow them to coach you and push you to greatness, then hey, you can retire. I'm okay with that. It opens up another roster spot for somebody else to come in and potentially prove themselves worthy of this team, man. We're not taking lukewarm players no more, man. He said that. So I'm all for it, man.
Yeah, and plus I think there's other parts of it. Now, if you were wondering about who retired, it was undrafted rookie free agent. I just drew a blank on his name that quick.
Abaid.
There we go. I was reading another comment and lost it. He retired. Okay, and so this has been a trend, but it's not just the line that this is happening. This is happening across the league where people are retiring who feel like, you know what, I'm probably not going to be this probably. And this is really the thing. I think this is what it boiled down to. They're retiring because they know that they don't have a roster spot, so they're getting out when they can. Yeah. The problem is, I think there's some like weird rule. If you in the league for so long, you get some type of benefits or whatever it works. So if I'm them, you're going to have to cut me, but that's a different story. Some people get to a point where just getting up to do this is just over. Their bodies don't want to do it. They don't feel like keep constantly trying to fight their way into the starting lineup and stuff. I get it. But then the people I want to quit anyway. Get the hell out the way and bounce. If you ain't here to compete, if you tired of doing it, thank you for knowing yourself and stepping to the side. We appreciate you. Thank you for putting that out there. If you're not sure about what it is that you want to be, or they ask you to change positions, you don't want to change it, and you decided that you're going to retire or step away or you want to be released, then please tell yourself to tell the people that you need to do this so we can get you out the way. We got too many other holes that got to be filled to be bullshitting with players this year. So that's just the reality for me. Another thing I wanted to jump on, because this is something that, in talking about that training camp was the kicking. I went to last year's fest with my son, and I had a great time. I wish I could have went this year, but I went. I had a great time, and I remember that the first thing that I came and talked about was we are in trouble at kicker. That man was out there without a single person coming at him. Wasn't nobody jumping. He was just practicing, and them kicks wasn't even near the goal post, and it translated over onto the season. This year is not that case. That kicker was putting his foot into it. He took pride in putting the foot on that pigskin. Boom. And I was very happy to see him hitting some 50s and 60-yard field goals, and to be able to do it in a way that makes sense. I was happy to see the defense take pride in forcing him to make a kick. But when I tell you that was a welcoming thing to hear, I was excited. Because when I first got there, the practice hadn't even started. They came out way before everybody else, and 100% was 100% garbage. They did not, under no circumstance, make a field goal near it, and it wasn't even close. If it wasn't wide left, wide right, it was wide short. I mean, it was terrible. And this year we got a kicker. What are the things that you guys are hearing coming out of the camp that stood out to y'all? I know there's a lot of talk about my man's Malcolm Rodriguez getting the first team reps at the middle linebacker. Start off with you, Rumble. What are your thoughts on some of the things you heard coming out of camp on Saturday?
Yeah, man. First of all, what I heard was that the fans showed up and showed out. Like it was crazy, the RSVPs that they had for it, and just the energy in Ford Field, man. Just the energy alone, to me, is something that I'm so excited to hear about. Just simply because that this team is essentially putting the city on its back, and the city is essentially putting the team on its back. So we're not going to be the laughing stock anymore. We're not going to be the same old Lions. That whole rhetoric's out the window. So my thing is just those guys are out there competing. The coaches are competing. The coaches are snapping at each other. The coaches are, man, everybody's fired up. So what's not to love about that? And this is just practice. We're talking about practice, man. We're talking about
right, not a game. Because I need to remind people, because I know somebody's gonna lose they mind when the Lions don't win some of these preseason games. They won all 4 preseason games and proceeded to go 0-16. Do not get caught up in this. Enjoy the games for what they are. Now they've already announced that they're going to do 1 full quarter of all their starters. So you'll get a chance to see all the starters play for 1 full quarter against the Falcons. I think the real dress rehearsal will come in that week 2 game against the Colts. I could be wrong. But you'll get a chance at least this week to see 1 full quarter. And to me, they should do 1 full quarter. That's just me. It's new competition. And I can tell you when I played, I wasn't really trying to knock my own teammates out. But whenever we had joint practices, I didn't care who's on the other team. I wanted you to know that when you see me this season, it's going to be a long day. So 100%. What do you got, Anthony? What are some things that you're hearing coming out of camp that stand out for you?
I mean, I'm glad the wide receivers have been doing well. There's been a lot of, good chatter about the wide receivers. That's where we want to be strong this year. The offense is better, really, than our defense on paper. So you kind of want to hear from camp that the offense is really sort of putting a hurting down on them a little bit as well. And it seems they have been. So I'm quite happy about that. I'm worried about the secondary. Harris has been struggling. Okuda has been sitting a bit as well. It's like they're battling for our second corner spot. I'd like the secondary spots kind of sealed up a little bit more there. And, the depth guys, you've heard very little about them as well. But then, individually, you've had some really good performances as well. I know me and you disagree about Malcolm very, very, very strongly. But
not strongly, not strongly. We see
it a bit differently. I get it, but it's for me, he's taken the progressions he needs to. He's done what he needs to as a rookie. You can say, is he playing with the first? Is he not? But at least he's a guy who's balling out, putting the work in, and getting the appreciation from his coaches. So you like to see that there. So it's been all right. I like what I'm seeing from the offense here. I need to see that translate onto the field. I know we've mentioned about the playing time in the preseason games coming up. I think personally they're going to need a little bit more time out there than maybe what they do. I would like to see the starters get a good amount of game time, because this year, it's not just the players you're trying to implement here, but the scheme's changing. We've been told that this team needs to play with more tempo. It needs to play higher tempo, faster offense, more simple cadence, stuff like that. You can't just do that. You can't just go out week 1 against the Eagles and all of a sudden everything's magically transformed from last year when, they had real problems with the tempo on this team. So you've got to give them time. I mean, look at last preseason. The offense was garbage. It was horrible. It was putrid. Was it not, though? Did you not want to poke your eyes out watching the offense last season? And what happened? It translated into the start of our season. You know, doesn't matter about the results. Doesn't mean you don't have to go 3-0, 4-0 in this preseason. But what matters is you install, what you need to for this season. And this is the tempo for the offense. You've got to get that in, and you won't do it by just playing a quarter here and there. This Eagles team are going to kick and fight back harder than a lot of teams will this year in the trenches now. And you've got to be ready for them. Your players have got to be battle hardened. They've got to be ready. They can't have a few snaps in preseason when they've done it at half speed and a little bit trained. Or they're going to get kicked very hard. They really need to take this preseason seriously to give us momentum for the season coming up.
I mean, listen, in all fairness, man, I mean, everything you talking about is something that led to something like a question like this. Shout out to my man, JEMlive. To this day, I will forever say this. This is the only man who can take what should be 35 and 40 minutes worth of content and make it a 7 to 10 minute video. It is freaking possible and amazing how he does it. And you will get all your information in a snippet of time than what I'm going to give you. So shout out to him. But he says, I don't know if y'all talked about it, but Jay Will's speech today made me run through 8 walls today. When you have a level of passion and it bleeds to it, attitude reflects leadership, and leadership reflects the attitude. It feeds off each other. And so they know who to get things going for. Like he said, every time you get tired, think about last year's record, because that ain't us. That wasn't what we was. And I didn't think that's what they were neither. I did not believe that the talent was so low that they couldn't do it. No, I think we had a lot of injuries. And I stood by that. And when I told everybody, hey, they should win this many games, everybody, they didn't do. You was wrong. And I was like, all right, cool. But the reality is this. This is something that should be passionate and that should move you in a certain direction. And I don't necessarily hate Malcolm Rodriguez. What I'm tired of is the level of love he got. If he's a day one starter, then I'm happy and I'll shut the hell up. But if he's not a day one starter, can we taper some of this back? Because that's not been the history of the Lions, unfortunately. We got another person jumping in here, and if you haven't paid attention at the top of this chat, there is a link for you to join the show. So you are more than willing to join the show, and we have another guest coming in, my man Malik Mills. Malik, what's going on, bro? Long time no see.
Long time no see, Luke. What's up? How everybody feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good. You know what I'm saying?
Good. Yeah,
what you got for us, man?
Man, just wanted to say, it's going to be part 2 of Hail to the Victors this year. And that the Lions will be in the playoff this year.
They should be, in my opinion. They should be. They should win 10 games.
No, I got them winning. Well, 10 is the lowest, 11 is the highest.
I got them. I got them. They should win 10 games. And I said the only thing I'm accepting is 8 wins. That's the lowest I'm accepting. Anything under 8, yeah, I got a problem. Because there's 8 teams that I believe that we should beat. We should not struggle with these 8 teams. Not what we have.
I'm gonna tell you the teams we should beat on our schedule. The Dolphins
should be
the Commanders, the Giants.
Yep.
The Panthers.
Yeah, should beat the Panthers.
The Seahawks.
Definitely should beat the Seahawks.
Who else? We should beat the Bears twice.
We play the Jets, if I'm not mistaken. We play the Jets. It should be the Jets.
Yeah, we should beat the Jets.
Okay.
And
so you should split. You should split with Minnesota.
Yeah. You
should sweep the Bears.
Right.
I'm just saying, I got 9. I can easily see those wins racking up. That's all I'm saying. And again, that's another thing. And I thought about you this because a lot of people jumped ship on Aiden Hudson after a few clips came out showing him getting stonewalled by Sewell. I got excited because I was like, if ever there was a time for you to learn how to be better, it's against somebody who makes you better. And when you look at some of the best pass rushers in this league and the tackles and the people that they went up against, when they went up against the best of them came out. And that's hard to come by. It's hard to see that and be like, oh, they didn't do these things and succeed. So I'm defending Aiden Hudson on this. Like, bro, it's practice. If he's going to get beat here in practice. The same way I don't want to hear people keep on sending me messages about, oh, did you hear Kyle Hamilton got hurt? Oh, did you hear? I don't want to hear it.
And
it's a whole career left.
And another thing that I want, like, since you touched on that, if you look at it though, he's still beating, still having a good training camp so far. Other than that one time he getting beat, because I heard he also beat Sue too. I heard they both stopped each other.
Well, if this was a boxing match,
right?
Which is not, but if it was a boxing match, the scorecards would definitely read Sewell is winning these knockout battles. Like he's definitely putting the work in. But this is good because he's gonna I'm seeing things from Aiden Hutchinson that I didn't see in college. I didn't see him do a counter. He's doing counter moves now.
I like this question right here too. I like this question because I feel Javon Davis could get a starting job back.
Well, a lot of people want to hype up other players, but they feel like because other people are not getting the hype that means that they're out. And the reality is, I remember last year there was people who was hyped up, like Craig Reynolds, who got cut, and I'm like, what the hell was that about? And there were people who didn't get hyped that stayed. So, my opinion, you don't have enough linebackers to let Gerard Darius go, in my opinion, but that's just me. But to answer this question, for bitten knowledge, Luke, who should be our 2 starting linebackers? And if it was me, I'm gonna say it again. If it were me, it would be Davis and Barnes. I'm over the Alex Anzalone train. I'm more than willing to give Malcolm Rodriguez a shot, to be honest with you. But I'd rather have Davis, who I know I can blitz and get things out of him, and Derek Barnes. That's who I would want to be the 2 starters. Who do I think it's going to be? Anzalone.
Yeah.
Ironically, I think it's going to be Anzalone, and I think they're going to keep Jared Davis. I think they brought them here to be the same tandem they was when they played in college, and so that's why I think they're both here.
And that's a cool thing that both of them played in Florida together.
That's what I think.
That's if I can remember correctly, I think that linebacker, them when they was playing together, they was both dangerous that year.
Right. Let me go down to you, Rumble. Who do you think is going to be the Lions? Who do you think should be our 2 starting linebackers, inside linebackers?
Yeah, I don't have any issues with what you just said. I think Barnes, and then it's either going to be Anzalone or Davis. And Barnes, because I think he's a much more polished. Like I think he's going to show us what we drafted him for. He's going to show us his whole repertoire this year. I think he had enough time to kind of get his body right, get his mental right, and I think we're in for a surprise with that linebacker core. Only because, like you said earlier, that defensive line is going to make some noise. And Coach Shep's got those boys fired up, along with Dan Campbell, along with we just got to wait and see what they do, man. I think it's more of attacking defense, so that means they're not going to be on their heels. They're going to be running forward and running to the ball. So, yeah, I can't wait to see what Barnes looks like.
All right, we'll say you, Anthony. Who do you think is going to be who should be the starting 2 inside linebackers?
I mean, if it was me, I would embrace the future, and I would put Barnes and Rodriguez in there, and first snap of the Philly game, tell them both to go and kill Miles Sanders, because that's what they do. They hunt down running backs. They hunt down running backs, and they hurt them, because that's the first thing Philly are going to do is run with Miles Sanders. They'll put them 2 in there and tell them to go kill him. But Anzalone is the green dot guy. He is Campbell's trusted guy. So I fully expect Anzalone to stay there. He could have gone this offseason if they were done with him. I know there was talk about him not coming back, but he did. So I think he's going to be in there. But I think Barnes will get that second spot. They've been speaking highly of him. I know he's got progression to do and that. But from what I'm hearing, I would expect him to be in there. But I would like it to be Barnes and Rodriguez myself.
Okay, that's not a bad take, you know what I'm saying, in my opinion, because like I said, if your idea is let's start the future, to be honest with you, the reason I would never shoot down what you said, even if it's Malcolm Rodriguez, again, keep in mind, if he's a day 1 starter, I'm happy. But this idea that he's going to have to show me he's going to have to take that spot, because they've already shown that they don't do this. They don't start those late round guys unless somebody gets hurt. But If you tell me I get to have Malcolm Rodriguez to take Alex Anzalone off the field, I'm sold. You've had me at Melt, right? You didn't have to say too much. As long as I knew Alex Anzalone ain't on the field, I'm over Alex Anzalone. He is about as meh as they come. He is so unnecessary. It's so frustrating. I wish he wasn't there. What was you saying, Malik?
I want to say thank you for letting me on the show, but I'm on vacation, so out here, so I'm gonna just go ahead and holler at you later.
Hey, I appreciate it. Yeah. I appreciate it,
flexible league. You flexible league.
I'm out here on vacation, back home. I'm back home in Jamaica right now.
Oh man, what the weather look like over in Jamaica right now? What we talking about over there? What is it looking like?
It's like it was 89 degrees today.
Okay.
Tonight, all the mosquitoes came down tonight.
Oh damn! So you couldn't even give us a bird eye view of what you looking at out your window, huh?
No, because if I open the window, all the mosquitoes gonna fly in.
Well, keep the window closed, man. We appreciate you for coming through and showing love and support as always, sir. Appreciate you.
All right, thank you.
Yep. I mean, look, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I'm not turning down my collar on nobody that's gonna take Alex Anzalone off the field. That's the truth. We can upgrade from him right now. Like Anthony, if you want to play linebacker, you're in.
I'm more built like a guard. I don't move like a linebacker, Luke. Unfortunately, those days are behind me.
It doesn't matter. We will make it.
I'm built big enough. I can just plop myself down in an offensive line. I can hold someone up for a few seconds. So
DJ says, "How you don't like Anzalone, but you love Jared Davis? He's worse than Anzalone. He's not.
I just felt like I just felt like they Patricia holstered a lot of our pistols, man. You know what I mean? Had them put on weight, had them, just do things like out of character. And I feel like Dan Campbell and them this year are absolutely like unholstering those pistols, and they're going to start firing. They're going to start firing shots. I'm ready.
I honestly feel like Anzalone, I feel like he's a placeholder in this side. I mean, we've already heard about how they're teaching Rodriguez the green dot, how to do all that in the center of the defense. I think it's just a case of they're waiting for one of these young guys to develop to come and take Anzalone's place.
Absolutely.
So from that point of view, I don't mind too much. If he's going to be a placeholder for a younger guy who's going to come in, take on that role, that's absolutely fine.
Do you think Jared Davis is worse than Anzalone?
I mean, Davis has been repping with the threes all camp.
There's been very few. We talking about the player. Like take the camp part of it. Take the player. Jared Davis before.
Jared Davis is a better guy against the run. Alex Anzalone is better in coverage. So pick your poison.
That's true.
Both of them have tackling issues. Both of them have big issues with the part of the game they're not good at. So Jared Davis can't cover to save his life. Anzalone is terrible against the run. I think they're both sort of. I just think Anzalone gives you the more veteran leadership on the field. I think that edges him over Davis very slightly, but I would say they're different linebackers. So it's hard to quantify them side by side as the same type of player to say one is worse than the other.
Hey, I'm not mad at you. Shout out to my man Vinny B, and he says, "What up, though, family?" So, okay, Vinny B, let me get y'all up on this. All right, I'm trying to keep y'all up this.
Oh man!
All right, it was brought to my attention. I love supporting people because I believe that people's greatness is always there, and they just need somebody else to see it and have support behind it. And I support it. So my man Rumble made a post that said, "Check out the Irk and Jerk," and I said, first of all, the name is clever as hell.
Yeah,
right?
Man.
The name is clever as hell. But it said check out the podcast. So I said, oh, okay. So I know if Rumble is rapping them, they got to be about something. So I went to found the podcast thanks to Rumble, and I was like, oh, this is funny. This is fun. This is
man. I'm telling you, man.
I'm gonna let you tell them where they can find them at, right? I end up finding them on Apple, like you told me, on the Apple thing. But I'm gonna let you tell them where to find them at. But they are doing the Detroit thing, and they're doing it as a podcast, and they're funny. They're really fun. There's even on his Twitter, man, he took a picture. I guess he had just got a haircut. It was so funny because he was sitting there like the most interesting man from the commercial. Like I'm like why is he posing like this? But I get it. It was funny, and I want them to have support.
Yes, absolutely, man, absolutely. Yeah, he looked like number 62 on the barbershop chart. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, my dog Vinny B and them, man, they doing big things, man, for the city of Detroit, man. Hey, they kind of remind me of my lost distant cousins at a family barbecue that I never met, never knew I had. And man, those guys are a blast, a straight vibe, man. So man, you guys got to check out Irk and Jerk on Apple, Spotify, anywhere you listen to podcasts, man. Those guys are legit, man. Legit 313 at heart, man.
And if you still hear Vinny B, you want to jump in, that link at the top of the chat. If you click on that, you can jump in and talk, some Lion football, man. Because like I said, I love to support people, and that's just what I'm about. DJ says, and that's why I'm saying Davis might not make the team. He may not make the team. He may make the team. There's no telling. Nobody is guaranteed. So I'm gonna be shocked. Why you always lying? Says Luke, what's going on, sir? My man, the Singles Dad Club. Luke, why do you look at Goldilocks with such hatred? Like he okay, well, first of all, he probably do love catch up. Okay, let's get that out the way. And took your family hostage. He basically took my family. He got Pride Nation hostage, man. We need to replace and get somebody who can get some things done. It is what it is. I'm sorry. I hate to say it. It just has to happen. Just putting it out there. But yeah, my issue with him is he's just mad. He's like if Alex Anzalone literally was cut, who was gonna cry about that? Nobody. Nobody's gonna be upset and say, other than Alex Anzalone family, everybody's gonna be upset about it. And I'm not trying to really down the guy. I'm just saying that I think I can get a better product at that position. That's all I'm saying. And I think we got him on the team already, to be honest. He didn't do bad last year, to be honest. Well, you better look at the earlier games because I was going off about it, but there was a guy who was worse than him, who could have been the reason why he wasn't performing, that I had to put out there too, a.k.a. Jamie Collins. And I think everybody else was blaming Jared Goff to get that Green Bay game, and I went off on Jamie Collins big time. I was very upset with what I saw, the lack of effort and everything. How about you start JD and Anthony? I think that's what it would probably end up being, just my opinion. So Lions linebacker 32 out of 32 teams.
They're not that bad. They've got a lot of potential in them. Maybe, there's a lot of potential in there.
I feel like I can't get mad at any rating outside of that ESPN offensive line rating who had teams who I know our offensive line is better than higher. But if you're telling me it's 32 out of 32, so what? It's their job to prove us wrong, right? They got to go out and get it done. And at this point, they haven't shown that. It hasn't been seen. We can't. Who can you say has shown you that they deserve to be the starter? If there's on another team, we wouldn't be arguing this. So the reality is I'm okay with them being 32 out of 32. It is what it is.
It's a position that's been criminally neglected in the drafts. We've not put any real sort of draft stock into it outside of Barnes last year.
Damn, man. You hurt my soul. Criminally. Oof.
Yeah, it has been criminally underused. We got Barnes last year, and that was it. And we don't have any bona fide starters on this team. So you're getting rookies in, but you're not really putting them around guys who are going to teach them on the job sort of thing. These guys are having to learn themselves. So it's something that needs to be addressed next year. Even if Malcolm Rodriguez and Barnes come good this year, you still need some depth in your room. You still need a real coverage guy in your room as well. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done with it.
No, and that's just the reality. That dude live says, when are you going to finally build some Detroit muscle, coach up who we draft, not recruit or trade for players who are built other franchises? We literally have a pro player coach almost every position. Yeah. And I'm waiting to see the results of it like you, right? Like I said, I know there was a lot of contention between who should be the starting running back and stuff, and that's what's led to a lot of conflict. But the reality is Yeah, I'm with you. When are we going to start to see it? I saw this thing the other day, and it blew my mind because when you talk about draft and how you approach it and stuff. And again, I am of the belief. I'm gonna say this again. I am, aka Luke, is of the belief. I am of the belief that you should not be taking a receiver in the first round anymore unless they are an absolute generational talent. And to me, I find it interesting that the Packers have not drafted a wide receiver, tight end, or running back in the first round since 2002. While every other team has drafted multiple players at those positions ever since. And they're dead last, and yet they keep finding receivers. Why? Because receivers really are a dime a dozen. I had somebody the other day tell me safeties and linebackers are a dime a dozen. I'm like, oh, okay. I don't know why this fan base hate linebackers so damn much, but okay. Like, why do y'all hate these people so much? So it is what it is. Name the starting linebackers on the Rams last year. Tactical Puma. Now, I can name them, but the reality is this. For what? You gotta understand something. Situations generate different outcomes, right? Because let's say, for example, if you telling me that you can get by with meh linebackers, which I'm not arguing with you on, if you tell me that, then I'm going to tell you, well, let's look at that team as a whole. They not only had a defensive line that can do some things, but they had cornerbacks who can do some things. Do the Lions meet that standard? I don't think so. They had safeties that can do some things. Do the Lions meet that standard? I don't think so. And so to me, if you're telling me to name the linebackers for the sake of saying, well, they're not the big name guys, they don't need to be when you have secondary help in a D line in front of it. They're sandwiched between players who can do things that our players can't. So I feel like that argument is not holding up like it used to, when linebackers is still one of the most significant positions on the defense. Go ahead, Anthony.
It's like everything, though. You can cherry pick your stats to your argument. I mean, how many years did the Patriots make the Super Bowl? They have linebackers aplenty there all the time.
Yep.
I mean, why did Green Bay fail to get to the Super Bowl in, most of the previous years gone by? Remember when they got run all over by San Francisco a few years back? Yep. They had no linebackers. They could not stop the run because the linebackers weren't there. The only reason they didn't go last year was because their offense was garbage. What did they have last year? They had Devondre Campbell in there who burst out at linebacker. Suddenly, the run ain't a problem no more. It's easy to just go, oh, one team made a Super Bowl without linebackers, but I can prove to you a lot of teams that made it with, and maybe in some cases, cost of their linebackers. It's a lazy argument to justify not drafting anyone there. It's still a big part. If it's not such a big issue, why are we talking about it so much as Lions fans? It's a huge issue for us. They're vital to your team. And it's just lazy saying otherwise.
Tactical Puma says, how often did New England draft linebackers in the first round? Well, it depends on which part of the area you want to talk about. They've done it quite a few times. So, but that's not the argument of where you draft them, whether it be first, second, or third. That's not the issue. The idea is you have to have linebackers. And to be honest with you, they have went full Monty on a number of linebackers who didn't work out. And then they went to free agency to proven linebackers and brought them in and got it done. They even took some people who were safeties and made them linebackers. This is nothing new. Dante Hightower, they, was a big part of them. Teddy Bruschi, Willie McGinnis, and I can keep going down the list of other people. Jamie Collins wasn't this super name and stuff. They've had people.
They got Kyle Van Noy off us. Where did we draft him?
Yeah, I was going to say that.
So, we just couldn't develop him right. Not here. Not that we've not done in a long time. So, when you've got no starters on your team, which we didn't really have last year, you can say we have Collins and that, when you're not investing in the future at the position, that's neglect. It really is. And when you've got no starters and you're making no attempt to go out and get a starter either, it's bad roster building, because we're really lopsided there now. We need to hope that Barnes comes good, that Rodriguez comes good, that Houston comes good if he shifts inside, that Anzalone can be a competent starter, that Jared Davis has a resurgence that's not been seen in the NFL before. There's a lot of questions And, we're trying to build an even roster here. It's not a case of we're going to get some good safeties, cornerbacks, a defensive line, and screw the linebackers. You can't build like that. Every part of the defense has to be given equal care and attention to build a good unit.
And I do love in the mixed statement, he says, just see, at least the Rams got Bobby Wagner, and they won a chip, but they still know how important the linebackers are. I mean, it's one of the things that you have to look at. If we had the cornerbacks in the D line that was dominant, I'd be like, okay, you can kind of maybe, cheapen your linebacking group. But the reality is this: when you look at most of those teams who have a cheapened linebacking group, they suck. And it's one of the reasons why we couldn't beat the damn Vikings for so long when we would try to run the ball, because the linebackers ate it up. But when them linebackers got hurt, we were able to run the ball on the Vikings. Things got real interesting for them, and all of a sudden the D line wasn't able to do it because the secondary wasn't as strong as it usually was in the past. I'm simply saying that we have to stop pushing the narrative that linebackers are not important. They are absolutely important.
Yeah, we have to see what Coach Shep and them are doing with these linebackers. I mean, Dan Campbell's saying he's like, I believe in those guys we have back there. So it's up to the coaches to like we've been stating, it's up to the coaches to get the very best out of these guys. If you know your guy's slow, you tend to use them more in in a spy position or whatever. You just have to find, these coaches have to find these players like strengths and just use that to their full capabilities.
But I mean, did you know how last season it was like when the whole Kyle Hamilton thing came out as well? Well, the Rams didn't need safeties to get in the Super Bowl, so they don't need linebackers, they don't need safety. What the hell do they need then?
But did they add Eric Weddles though or somebody who they were trying to find safeties. They were looking for that position. It wasn't like they just said we got what we got, we're good. No, they were still looking for that position.
Yeah, and they were lucky that they came up against one of the worst offensive lines in football with one of the strong defensive lines. That's where it gets won, but it kind of covers it covers your inadequacies further behind. That's why this year I want our defensive line to be great, because it will cover some of the holes that we've got further back in the defense. But eventually you have to start putting. So look at our safety room at the minute. It's Tracy Walker, and then that's it right now at this moment in time. That is it. Outside of that, we got a rookie and a guy from Baltimore who may become all right, but it's another position group where, it's been neglected. And, we've put so much resources into the trenches and that, but other parts, they're going to take time to fix. They're going to take drafts to fix, years to fix.
I mean,
and, it's not the best look for your side when you've got, especially on the defense, when there's two areas that have been criminally, like I say, neglected.
Plus, we got to look at our history. We can talk all the talk that we want to talk, but at the end of the day, you got to look at our history. We have always had, at some point in time in our history, an amazing D line. We had it back in the early 80s, late 80s, early 90s. We had the D line, but our linebackers were different makers. The safety was another different maker. And then you go to the time when we got Sewell. You had Sewell, Fairley, Avery, and freaking Kyle Vanderbilt. But then look at your linebackers that you had. Right? You always had that. Then you go through, you look at the times where you didn't have a stellar line, or you had a D lineman or two, like when we had Sean Rogers and then they added Ernie Sims, right? And you got to be able to get the best out of it. But when you go through and you look at the linebacker position as a whole, to treat it as if though it's so minute to a defense, it's just comical in my opinion. Because every time I turn around and I look up, when you get on goal lines and stuff like that, people forget those great plays that Ray Lewis has made. People forget how good Darius Leonard is. People forget how Fred Warner is changing the game from the linebacker position, how Patrick Willis was changing the game, Luke Kuechly. And you talk about even now for the Bears, Roquan Smith is balling for them. We downplay these positions. And everybody talk about the Legion of Boom, but nobody can tell me and name to me the Legion of Boom's defensive line. And I'm a Seahawks fan too. And I can tell you right now that when I look back at it, it was secondary and linebacker play. The D lineman wasn't getting it done. Even when they added Cliff Averill, they still wasn't doing what they was doing, but the linebackers were so sound and the secondary play was so strong. And I think we have to stop undervaluing the position because it lines up with our debate or our argument in a debate. I just think that that's not a fair assessment to have.
Well, the anti-safety rhetoric last year was all to do with Kyle Hamilton. No one wanted to take a safety that high, so safety suddenly doesn't become an important position. The year before, a lot of people didn't want to take Micah Parsons. Linebacker's not an important position. I think a lot of it is to do with just personal preference on there. It's like there's already kickback about people saying, oh, you should look at Noah Sewell next year. We get a good linebacker in the draft. Oh, no linebacker, you get one dime a dozen sort of thing. It's positions are valued by how people see them and how people prefer things. So, people like flashy wide receivers or a big lineman or something like that early on in the draft, because they like to see them. They don't like to see a safety or someone like that come in. So I think a lot of it's personal preference.
Now, I do want to switch gears a little bit because there's one more thing I want to talk about before I get into those final thoughts and stuff. Because to me, as we coming up on this game, I'm gonna be doing this all week. That I need this fan base to understand that this game is not telling, right? Because you talk about Marcus Mariota, who's new to the Falcons. You're talking about them having a lot of new pieces and things like that. You just simply need to enjoy the game itself and not get caught up in the results. However, my question to you, gentlemen, and to anybody in the chat that want to jump in and chime in on this, that link is in the description. Feel free to join us and be a part of the discussion. My question to you, gentlemen, is simply put, when you're looking at this team going into this game on Friday, and you gotta try to focus on one thing. What is the one thing you're focusing on? Right? I want you to think about this, because for me, I literally took days to figure out my answer, and I know that's not fair to y'all. But if there was one thing you're trying to focus on to see in that first preseason game, what is it? We start this off with you, Anthony. What is that one thing you're going to be focused on? It could be a player, it could be a coach, it could be a thing, but it's one thing that you're like, I need to see this. This needs to happen.
The tempo of the offense. It has to be crisper. It has to be quicker. It has to look like it's working properly, because that's critical for our season. It cost us so many times last year with penalties and flags on the play, indiscipline when it came to that sort of thing. It's huge for us this year. The offense is ready to rumble and get us points this year, so it has to be operating properly. And that's why I need to see it during preseason and why it's such a big deal to me.
Okay. Real quick, in the mix says, if they Lions get 5 sacks this game, you don't think that would translate? No. No. You go back and look at some of them preseason game histories where they done did some stuff and it didn't translate when regular season come around. No, because a lot of times we also got to keep in mind, because did you get 5 sacks late down the game against thirds and fours and whatever else? Yeah, that's possible. Or did you get those against the starters earlier? That the context in which it happens is going to matter, not so much that they got 5 sacks a game.
But if Mariota slices up your secondary, aren't you going to get worried? Because he's like the bottom of the pile we're going to face this year.
No, I'm not going to get worried at all. Because for me, if Mariota slices them up, then good. They know they got to work on it's practice, and that's what they're doing. You're trying to get them into a position to understand that we need to be practicing how to get better. And if Mariota burns them up, I expect to see that, because guess what? There's some parts of the secondary that I still think is troublesome. And in order for it to be seen with the naked eye, somebody's got to expose it. And I'd rather it happen in a game that don't matter. So, no, I'm not going to be alarmed, not whatsoever. I'm still on the fence that we only have 1 cornerback and 1 safety. So I suspect that they should get sliced up. What is that one thing that you're thinking about? What is that one thing that you're going to be focusing on, Rumble, that you're just like, hey, I need to see this. I need this to happen.
Yeah, I just need them to believe in each other. I need that confidence to be just unwavering. Okay, so you give up a big play. Okay, don't let it affect the entire game. And I need to see them play all 4 quarters. Whoever's out there, I just need this team to believe in what this front office has been preaching, what the city's been yearning for. I just need them to believe, like, these are the guys that you're going to be playing with for the rest of the season. So just believe. Whatever the coach has been coaching you up to this point, just believe. Whatever they said you need to work on, do that and just believe in it. I just need them to have that confidence, man. That goes a long way in this game. So once you get confidence, the rest is history, man. The rest you'll be able to figure out. So I'm right there with Anthony, man. They need to be crisper, and they need to just have confidence in each other.
Drunk says, bro, that speech dude gave, aka Jamal Williams, in the huddle, almost want to make me be a Lions fan. Hey, I ain't mad at you. Jamal Williams is passionate because he cares. And he cares because I hate to say this, he was embraced. He was definitely embraced in Green Bay. He's been embraced totally different here. He's definitely one of the fan favorites. And his love for this city, his teammates, and what they're trying to do and how they're trying to change it is definitely on his shoulder. But what he said came from a place of knowing that we're better than what we shown last year, and people don't get to determine that. It's our story to write. We are the captains. Let us be the ones to write the story and be the author of a book that tells a story that we know we are. And so to me, when you hear that speech coming from him, it's not just him you're going to get a lot of those speeches from. It's other people who you're going to get that speech from who understands, look, there is more to you than just being the record. You have to be bigger and better than that. So I support that. Now, the thing for me that I'm going to be looking at beyond anything else, this is the biggest thing I'm going to be looking at, but beyond anything else, is the level of discipline. The penalties for me last year were at some of the absolute worst moments I can think of. And I'm looking to see if we getting these damn false starts. Are we getting these offsides? Are we getting pass interference? I want you to be aggressive, but I want discipline. So that way, when you're playing these games, you're not lining yourself up in a position that hurts the team. So for the first week, I'm looking at that because they have had the referees in practice for that purpose alone, for them to be disciplined, making sure they're not lying offside or they're not having those problems. So that's why I'm looking at. AGC says my biggest concern is being run on, the secondary bums going off. Yeah, if you can't stop the run, then yeah, the secondary bums will go off. And it's a very good point by you, AGC, because I think that's what I don't think people understand. And it's why I say, look, everybody wants to talk about the receiving core and stuff, but if you don't have a run game, there's no need to feel anything about a receiving core. You have to run the ball, and it opens up everything else, and that's just 100%. So it says, Luke, what do you think about the 2023 NFL draft? Just kidding. Yeah, I ain't gonna talk about that too soon. We got another guest in the building, my man, 9 Drinks. If you got your video on, please mute it. 9 Drinks, you there?
I'm here. What's up, buddy?
Not much, sir. What you got for us today?
I don't have anything. I just go along with your line talk.
I didn't hear that. Say that one more time.
I said, I'm just ready to go on with your line talk.
Oh, so you just jumped in and hear it. Okay, well, look, I'm going to mute you because I can hear me some feedback a little bit. So I got to mute you. I'm going to put you in the background. You better hear it live back there, and you can chat it up once we're done, all right?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. So listen, I see a lot of people want to talk about Austin Bryant. Austin Bryant understands that his ass is on the chopping block. It's too many players at his position. So he's not playing. He's taking it serious.
And this is the point. They need to be very serious with these games. There's too many battles here. There's too much depth. There's too much depth in some positions. Some people need to stand up and say, look, I want to be here on this team. I want to be lining up against the Eagles week 1. I'm going to go out and make my mark in these games, because no matter what anyone says, this is the closest they're going to get to real action on the field before the season starts. And you've got to take it seriously, because, I don't want my D-line going up against the Philly offensive line, which is one of the best in the league, just sort of having a half-assed preseason where they've done a few snaps and that's it. They ain't going to cut it. They'll kick us down and we won't get back up. This is a case where, people say, oh, well, you want your players to stay healthy and fit for the season. You don't want to injure. Well, look what happened last year. We had a perfectly healthy squad nearly enough going into last year. And then what happened? We lost Akuda, we lost Ragnar, we lost Aquara, we lost them all. In this game, you're going to get injuries at any time in the year. They will hit you anywhere and everywhere. So work your players hard, get them in shape for the season, and get yourself off to a flying start, because this Philly game means so much to our season. if we can pull off a win against these guys, then all of a sudden, 10 wins, playoffs suddenly becomes a possibility on the horizon. If you get twonked by them and just left in the ruin, then, that potentially ruin your season before you've even started.
Man, hanging heads. Yeah.
This is a case of Dan Campbell says you've got to work harder, you've got to train harder, you've got to be harder. That starts with these preseason games. You've got to train harder, you've got to work harder, you've got to be a little better, take a few more hits, go out there and prepare yourself more than what the Eagles are doing there and want it more than them. You can't afford to see any lackadaisicalness from this team coming in here. I'm sorry, but they've got to be all go this year, because last year we just didn't do it, and look how we started. We were trash. We were horrible.
All right, time to pay some bills, people. This episode of the Field Review is being brought to you by Man Hour. Yes, Man Hour, where you can be heard on Roku and all the other platforms, as well as Facebook and a host of other places where you're going to get raw, uncut content on all 32 teams. You're going to hear content on baseball. I mean, they pretty much talk all the damn sports. I don't know how they keep up with it, but they do. And they have more than enough time to do that and still be fathers and husbands and everything else in between. So if you are not familiar with Man Hour, we're trying to get their subs up and get some more love going so they can continue to grow. So please show some love to Man Hour as they build their platform. All right. We got another guest who jumped in here. I'm going to get him in before we get out. My man Ghost Gunner is in the building. What up, though?
Hey, what up?
Hey, not much, man. I see Joseph made a post. He says, in terms of translations, Lions went 4-0 in the preseason, and 0-16 this fall of the season. How's that for translation? So, that's food for thought. What do you got for the show today, Gunner?
If I see Will Harris get cooked in the first preseason game, I'm going to turn the game off. Swear to God.
Wait, hold on. Let's bring this back to be a little bit more fair. Okay. Why are you going to turn it off if he gets cooked?
Tell me who, other than Drake London, who on that receiving core?
Exactly.
Kyle Pitts.
He don't get wide receiver, not tight ends.
But they use him as a receiver, though.
He's not going up against Kyle Pitts. I don't want to hear who else he's going up against.
But you got to understand, though, I don't think it's a matter of speed as much as it is route running. And they do. I'm trying to think of the other receiver they just added. What is his damn name? I'm just going to look it up.
This team's going to be fighting for a top 5 pick in the draft this year, Luke.
You have to, maybe like top 2.
I'm expecting us to pick feathers out our teeth after this game.
No, I mean the Falcons. This team is going to be fighting for the top 5.
But it's a preseason game.
It's about desire, Luke. You have to. This team is built on the fact that it is better than everyone else, that it will work harder, that it will train harder, that it is going to run you down into the ground. And this team has to be ready. We have too many players coming off injuries this year. We can't just let them walk into a season having not taken any meaningful contact. This is what the preseason games are here for, to get them into shape and ready for this. We did it last year. We took the let's keep them healthy and not play them route, and look what good it did us. It didn't do us a damn jot of good whatsoever. If we want this team to be the one that's going to kick the asses of other teams out there, you've got to be the most prepared. And you'll
you beat me into it, damn it.
Damn, Ed. Damn, Ed. Let's go.
Beat me into it, okay? Stop the abuse, okay? I'm picking up what you're putting down. Damn.
Let's go, boy.
I'm expecting for a secondary that I think is weak to have some issues. And I'm not going to get overexcited if they perform well, but if he gets burnt, I'm not ready to kill him. But goddamn it, you had to beat me like that. Somebody call the police. That's got to be some type of crime. Assault with a deadly word or something. I mean, I got it.
You're going to make me feel guilty now, Luke. I
got it. Ever. I'm with you. I'm picking up what you're saying.
Nah, he pumped me up.
It's the first game.
Also, I'm curious to see where Okuda is at his development. He has not played since September, first game of last year.
Here, I'll tell you where
I just need to see if people are running right past him or not. That's all I need to see.
I'll tell you where Okuda is in his development. I'm gonna tell you where he's at. He is where he was when he came out of college.
Cue the Twilight Zone theme.
That's the case. That certainly isn't good.
I mean, listen. I'm still watching clips and I'm still seeing things where he's not putting hands on receivers in the 5 yards. I do not understand this. One of the things that you hear, if you talk to any of the top corners, like you talk to Charles Wilson, you talk to even Patrick Peterson, if you talk to Jalen Ramsey, if you talk to Darrell Revis or Deion Sanders. Your job as a cornerback is to mentally take the receiver out of the game. It's one of the reasons why Cortland Finnegan got into so many fights with Andre Johnson, because his whole job was to take him out of his game. And sometimes that involves you putting hands on him at the line of scrimmage unnecessarily and afterwards. And so to me, he's where he's been.
The trouble is, look, did you not see that thing today where the refs are getting mandated to call illegal contact more on pitches? It's more to do with touching and that. You know, like if we're playing someone against Green Bay, literally just brushing the jersey is a touch. So maybe they're just teaching them in advance so we don't get flags thrown on us every play.
I mean, listen, we gonna get them calls regardless, but I don't know if they that far in advance. I think some people are who we think they are, and we can't let them off the hook. Shout out to my man Didi Green, RIP to one of the legends. But you know, he is who I thought he was, and I told people that y'all gonna at some point they're gonna see it. I don't know how long it's gonna take. Some people are gonna wait till he fall off, and some people will never admit it. The same way there's some people who will never admit that Stafford was not the problem here. I get it, but the reality is you took a guy 3rd overall, and he hasn't even looked close to a corner, in my opinion. Even in the one game that he played last year, he had that one play where he got the good tackle on the receiver or the running back out the backfield. But that pass where he got beat deep, that pass was so wobbly and uncontrolled. And I'm like, dude, all you have to do is just turn around. Just turn around. If he turned around, I swear to God, it's an interception. That pass was so ugly. Like it was so. It took so long to get there. So when it landed, and Deebo Samuel caught, I think he paused for a minute, like shit. It made it. Like come on. So I don't want to give excuses, but yeah, he is who I thought he was. I'm hoping he's better. I'm praying that he's better. And if he isn't, it is what it is.
Amen. I'm hoping he's listening to Michael Jackson's Jam, so he can every time Michael Jackson says jam, he's putting his hands on the players within 5 yards. He just needs to just insert his dominance in the first 5 yards. You have 5 yards to insert your dominance. Don't leave it up to the refs to throw a flag, man. You have 5 yards to insert your dominance. Take him off his route. Control him. Dictate where his hips go. Make him run out of bounds if you have to.
I mean, let's be honest. This whole competition between a safety turn cornerback it's ridiculous. But that's another story. We've been on an hour and 32 minutes, and I do want to spend some time with my kids. We're gonna do some Play-Doh today. At least I can't take no L in Play-Doh. I had a one moment, people. I told y'all that my son has gotten really good at Super Smash Bros. And I told y'all what I was gonna do, and I stood by it. I finally got my win. And I have not played him since. You can judge me if you like, but here's the lesson I'm teaching him right now. You need to hold on to all your wins, because when you get a chance to play somebody and they get their win, you may not be able to play them again. Yeah, that's a lesson from the dad book. Also, a little bit of pride hurt, because I don't even know how I won that damn game, but I'm going to hold on to my victory. Judge me not. So I'm going to get into the final thoughts of the show today so I can go and have some fun with some Play-Doh. And just talking stuff. It says, I'm a Detroit diehard, but think Green Bay can win 13. They could, or they couldn't. The Lions can be the deciding factor in that. Never know. All right. My man Gunner, you came in here a little bit later than usual, but I'm going to give you the final thoughts to start us off.
Hey, man, I'm excited for Hard Knocks to come on tomorrow.
Yes. Yes.
I have never really watched Hard Knocks before, so definitely pretty excited to watch it.
Well, it's gonna be.
I'm just here for more Dan Campbell content. That's all I'm there for.
I love how the camera can find the most interesting faces. They had the one of Jason Kabinda when he's sitting there looking like, yeah, talk that talk.
It looks like he'd kill for Dan Campbell.
Yeah, 100%. My man's Lions Rumble 81. What are your final thoughts for the people?
Man, I appreciate it, man. Was the night before Hard Knocks Eve. And all through my house.
Oh.
I had steaks marinating.
Yeah.
That's how I'm going to get down.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby. 10 p.m. tomorrow. I cannot wait, man. I'm so excited. The city's going to be in front of the biggest stage it's been in since the Pistons and Wings won. Man, I'm excited, dude. I can't even express how excited I am for this team, for just the city, for the fans, for people like you, the content creators, everyone. Hey, you guys just make sure you tune in and you keep roaring wherever you're at, whether it be Mississippi, Dallas, the UK, Cali, New York, wherever it is, man. Just keep repping the pride, man. Love you guys, man.
100%. My man Anthony from Royal Lions UK, who still put time in, and Anthony will tell you when they come on, I really don't want to. I want to get out the way because I want to hear what's going on and keep track, because this is how I've been keeping up with a lot of my college football. I'm not sure how in the hell they still finding college football news, but this is impressive. They're doing it, and they're also still talking Lions, so that's awesome. Anthony, give the people your final thoughts of the day.
Yeah, well, first of all, again, Luke, thanks to you and all the guys on here. It's been great as per usual. It's 2 a.m. here, but I don't really care. I'm up talking Lions, having a good time. So, I love this. Now, I just say to the fans and to everyone, enjoy this week. You've started it off with a great Luke G's field review stream, which is one of the best things going. Tomorrow, we have Hard Knocks, which is going to be absolutely great. I've seen on Twitter that they've said that another Inside the Den episode's coming out this week. So we get Inside the Den, we get Hard Knocks. And then on Friday, we get to watch Marcus Mariota learn what it's like to be stuck between a rock and a hard place. The rock being Aiden Hutchinson and the hard place being Charles Harris. And we get to watch him get killed a few times. So enjoy this week. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, 100%, man. Listen, y'all know me. I have to end every show on a positive note. I know that many people have been dealing with some things. I've talked to some people recently, and it's been crazy. So here's this message I got for you. I don't know where this came from. I don't, but I saw the simple word. When you are broken, I'm going to say it again. When you are broken, it is at that moment that you will be put back together right in front of the people that broke you. I'm going to say that one more time. Sometimes things go over people's head. When you are broken, it is in that moment that you will be put back together in front of the people that broke you. Broken does not mean you are out of the fight. It does not mean that you have lost the battle nor the war. It simply means that you had a momentary lapse that sets you back for a moment. It did not change you or alter you in any form of fashion. And when you are broke, whatever is broke can be fixed. Whatever was created can be recreated. You don't have to be super amazing to be great. Those who attempted to break you and take all your best parts away simply did that because they knew that there was no way possible they can meet your level of greatness. I want y'all to take a second to just think to yourselves about how great you are and all the things that you said that you wanted to do and you achieved. And every time that something came up that you thought you couldn't do, but somehow you still did it. Some of you were going to be first-time parents and didn't quite know how to go down that road, but you handled it like champs, like all-stars, like all-Americans. You chased no other vision other than to be the best parent that you can be. It's because when you are broken, that is your real superpower. You are not actually out of the fight. You simply need a moment to reflect on all the things that you can do and how you're going to do it. So when you feel the need to feel broken, remember, you're simply putting yourself back together in front of all the people who thought that they can break you. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, please hit that like notification bell. And if you ain't did nothing else, you need to check out that Hard Knocks tomorrow and the Lions' first preseason game Friday, August 12th. I believe that game is at 7:30 at night. I could be wrong. But check the game out. And if at all else, don't be no chump. Please do your research. We are out.